Hello and welcome back. So this is the fourth video in the series, and in this one we'll be looking at final fix trades. You can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. So this is my blueprint to getting the best out of each trade and helping you run projects smoother. So what are final fix trades? So in this section we'll be looking at the trades from when the decoration is completed until the completion of the project and it is handed over, sold, or the tenant moves in. So when the decoration is completed, the final fix trades need to go in. Be careful if the gloss was done last that it needs time to dry, as if it is soft then any dust or debris from the next trades will mark the surfaces easily. The paint will have different drying times depending on the time of year. There are a few trades to get in before the floor coverings can go down. This is the list of trades. So these are the final fix trades. So we have a joiner, a plumber, an electrician. We'll need to do a mechanical check, a pre-flooring check. We also need a cleaner for a sparkle clean. We have floor coverings to go down, joiner again for re-ironing doors, ceiling floors, etc. and final snagging. Mechanical check. What is a mechanical check? So before the carpets get fitted or the floor coverings go down, it is important to check that all the mechanical items work. This is all plumbing and electrical items need to be checked, like make sure that your toilets, your sinks, your wash and basins, your baths, showers, heating, radiators, lights, sockets and anything else that is fitted and needs to be working works. So if you have a leak when the carpets are fitted, you could water damage the flooring and damage the flooring taking it up to repair pipes and cables. I have a checklist that I use when I go through each room one by one. I start with the ground floor and then go upstairs and then go back to the ground floor and check the ceilings for damp patches to identify any leaks from all the baths and toilets and everything I've turned upstairs. I cannot emphasise how important this check is. It is better to find any leaks before the floor coverings are done than after, and much more easier and cheaper. All the plumbing items must be fitted by now and be working, which we've just mentioned. All showers, all your shower screens can be fitted, all your rails and curtains can be fitted. Bath panel needs to be on one solid pipework when the bath is checked and there are no issues. This will apply to the trims that are on the bottom of shower trays, etc. I would always give this work to a joiner, as they will always do a better job than a plumber. No offence plumbers, at fitting panels and things. Make sure the gas check is carried out on the boiler and the benchmark is filled in. You will need to leave a copy of the property and keep one copy yourself. So electrician, so there may be some electrical items that need fitting when the decoration is done. So if you're having fancy light pendants, you may need to fit some cheap ones while the work is being carried out and then swap them over after it's decorated so you don't get paint all over them. You may have other items that haven't turned up at the time when the electrician was there doing a second fix, and then you can fit them now. Hopefully everything is turned up by now. The electrical testing can be done now, and you need to hope that with all the planning and checks that you've made up to this point that there's nothing wrong and you can get your certificate. Sometimes you'll find a fault with something, whether it's a socket or a light or a nail cable or somewhere. These things happen and you need to get it repaired and make good. Sometimes life's not fair and it's best to find these things out before the floor coverings go down, as it's expensive to clean and replace them. So joiner. So when the decoration is completed, the joiner can fit all the doors, handles and the latches, curtain rails and blinds, etc. I would always get them to do any panels and shower rails and curtains, as you will always get a better job done than if the plumber does it. There will be mess that is made, and it is important to get this work completed before the floor coverings go down. So, pre-flooring check. So what is this? So before the floor coverings get fitted, it is important to make sure everything is ready. As mentioned earlier, especially the mechanical check, then check all the floorboards are fitted and secure. You will need to walk every inch of the floor, paying attention to all the areas you can see that have been lifted and disturbed. Even if you find a creaking board, it can be costly to take up the flooring and sort it out any annoying creaking in the future. If you follow my advice, remove the downstairs ceilings at demo stage, and the floorboards will not have been removed unnecessarily while you were there. So it is just the previous boards you need to check. So once you have checked and secured all the boards, you must clean the flooring, stop any bits from getting under the coverings, and to give a good impression when the fitters arrive. As if they see a lot of rubbish and materials, they'll be on the back foot straight away. The fitters will sweep the floors when they get there, but it's just to take up that final bit of dust, and it helps them check the subfloor is okay to fit on. So sparkle clean. So before the flooring goes down, you need to make sure the subfloors are clean, dust free, and got no lumps of plaster or gobble on them from when the previous trades were in. Make sure the floors are scraped before they are swept and mopped. You need to give the flooring contractor a good clean and clear area to work in. Floor coverings, so make sure the property is ready for the flooring when they get there. It needs to be clear of dust and debris. Any materials you have there needs to be moved. Ask them where they are starting first. Generally, they'll fit gripper to all the rooms that is having carpets, and then underlay, then go around fitting the carpets one by one. So if you have got wardrobes there to assemble, you may need to put them outside or in a garage, kitchen and bathroom and get them out of the way. But explain to the fitters that is what you're going to do. If you have a plan, they'll probably help you by moving things. The fitters will probably leave all the waste with you to get rid of, which is good that you will have runners to put on the carpets to walk on in the heavy traffic areas. Make sure you have overshoes for anyone coming into areas that doesn't have runners. So rehanging of doors. So once the floor coverings are fitted, the doors will need to be refitted. And some of these will have been removed to fit the flooring, as it is easy with them out of the way, or the gap under them is too small and the door is tight to the flooring. It shouldn't take too long. You could probably get the decorator in at the same time following the joiner. Also at this stage, the door stops can be fitted. It's easier to fit them afterwards, and they're probably going to be in the floor layers way if they're fitted before this stage. Sparkle clean. So you should now be coming to the end of making a mess by fitting things, and you can give the property a quick sparkle clean. It shouldn't be too messy, but a quick hoover and wipe down before the paint touch up and the ceiling is done will make a better job. There's always bits from when you're fitting carpets with it, and there's always things that get just caught with the stammer knife, the skirtings and everything, so you just need to clean everything, get rid of all the dust and get it all nice, so we can just go in and the decorator can see everything that's needed to be touched up. So touch up decoration. So there are always scuff marks and knife marks to walls and woodwork when the floor coverings are done. The amount will depend on the floor layers, and if you have cleared the property and done a sparkle clean, then they have got no excuses. If you haven't and there are materials about, you will not get as good a quick job done, so they will rush it. Also, if the decoration is completed one day and the carpets are on the next, then the paint may be dry but not be hard to the touch, so more damage will occur. This will probably be the case, as lost time at the beginning and middle of the project when things are going wrong, you will try to catch back up at the end, which you're doing now. Everything's finally touched up, all the decorations and everything's done. Then we can go around and we can seal everything. So all the sealing can be carried out. This needs to be done by someone who can actually seal up, as some people cannot, and a good job can be made to look a bad one with poor sealing up, and I've seen some in my time. Some people do this for a living and they are good and quick, and they use the correct materials, as you can easily use the wrong type of sealant, as there are lots of different types out there to choose from. Whoever seals up must do a good job. Then it is important to make sure the sealant is dry before anyone else goes in the property that day. Lock up and come back the next day. A good sealing job should just blend in with the room and not be noticeable unless you look for it. If sealant stands out, it's generally because it's wrong. So the things that you need to seal are obviously all your sanitary, your kitchen, your floors, windows, doors, all that type of thing. There's plenty of things out there that can be made to look a mess if they are sealed up badly. So this is a picture of a kitchen, or half a kitchen. There's the other half just behind where I was taking the photograph. And this one was all been tiled, it's all been finished, the floor coverings are down, it's all been sealed up. It's not a very close up picture of the sealant, but it doesn't stand out, and that's the idea. If sealant stands out, generally because it's bad. Good bit of sealing up should just blend in so you don't really notice it. It just disappears into everything else and you notice other things instead. This is another one. This is in a bathroom. This is a wash hand basin. It's got wall tiles. There's a feature panel behind the wash hand basin. And same again. The sealing up doesn't stand out on this. You've got something white, you seal around it with white silicone, and it would look a mess on the blue tiles. It would really stand out. It's not so bad on the floor covering. That will blend in a little bit more, but any bad sealing on something like this needs to be done nice and neatly, otherwise it'll just stand out like a sore thumb. So final snag. So you will have been snagging along the way, but once everything is fitted and working, now you can do a final snag. So there are a few different apps you can use. The one I have tried and seems to be the best on the market until I create the app myself is Site Audit Pro. It is good but has its limitations. The important thing is to carry out a thorough check and to correctly document the items identified. I have a process that I go through when I snag a property, starting with the kitchen sink. I like to do a check on my own, as you can easily be distracted if someone is with you, especially if it's the builder, as they will try to distract you a bit like a magician with misdirection. If he knows there's something he doesn't want you to see, I know it's a tactic, as it's a tactic I have used myself in the past. When the snagging is completed, to need to give to the builder, you may need to go through it with them, as some of the items picked up may not be snags, or there may be another way of doing it. Make sure you email the snags and give them a time frame for their completion. So you need the time that they need to be all completed for, whether it's realistically by the end of the day is probably not enough, or a week depending when you are, but give them a date with can realistically get all the snags done. So then once your snags are all completed, you're happy with them, another sparkle clean, you need to have quite a few little bits of cleans. They should get less and less as they go along. So this one hopefully wasn't many snags, mainly a bit of touching up or something, a bit of filler touching up, something like that, something catching, a little bit of adjustment, and it's just a quick, nice final sparkle clean. Once the property is completed, a final clean is required to make sure the property is ready for its new life, or whatever you decide to do with it. So dressing of the property. So what is this? So you may want to dress the property if you are wanting a good valuation. There are companies that will provide the furniture and photos and everything you need to make it look like a home. They will bring it all, set it up, then come and collect it after the valuation. The service isn't cheap, but could make more extra than the valuation, so you just need to weigh it up. So these are some that I have done. So this is a nice little kitchen that we got fitted. So they just came along, everything that you can see on the worktops and on the windowsill, the little table and all the cups and saucers and bench and rugs and flowers and everything, the mirrored clock on the wall, everything were brought in just nice and subtly set up, so everything just looks nice. So this is another kitchen, diner, living area. So same again, everything, all the tables and settees and chairs and flowers and everything was brought in. Everything that's on the wall were all brought in. Everything was set up, dressed, photographs taken professionally, and then everything was cleared away. It's just all, it's not in your face, it's just all nice. It just shows you how the property can be set up, or this is what you envisage it to be set up. Especially with things like this, when you've got a walk-through kitchen, diner and living area, it just shows you how everything does actually work. Because they might be thinking, oh, that's a bit too small, but it does actually work. So this is the bedroom. So there's a nice little feature wall panel that we did behind the bed. You see the bed, a little chair, little table and puffy and bedside cabinets. Everything was brought in by, or the picture on the wall, it was all brought in by the people who just dress everything, just to show you how everything fits. So this was another one. This was a little living area. So same again, settees, little rug, little coffee table, little flower tables in the corners, everything. This was all brought in just to stage the property. So this is a bedroom. Same again, the bed, chairs, the mirror on the wall, everything was brought in. We decided on this one just to keep the fireplace. It was the original featured one. It wasn't working, it were all blocked off, but it just looked all nice as a feature. We've put some logs in there in the hole. So dressing the property can give the valuer a better understanding of what you have done in the refurbishment and really show off your project, and you should get a better valuation. If you want to see any of these photographs, the properties in these in more depth, there'll be some more videos coming. I'm doing a walkthrough of all the good and bad things, everything that happened and shouldn't have happened, and just a what's all documentary on these properties, how we got to these stages at the end, and some of these are going to be interesting for you to see along the way. So if property is completed, so this is the order I will complete a refurbishment project in an ideal world. You may not have the luxury of getting trades to turn up when you want them to and to complete the works. Sometimes you may need to decide if you are better to carry on and make good later than hold up the project if you want to keep the deadlines. I hope one thing you get out of this blueprint is to make sure, 1, the property is clean before each trade starts. So each trade is a clean property to start, and they must clean it away after they've finished. Each trade cleans up after themselves, and each trade will see a clean property and will give you a better job. This is the key. Make sure they stick to it, otherwise you'll just end up with a complete load of rubbish everywhere, and it just gives the bad first impression, and you'll just get a bad job. Throughout this training, I hope you have learned that if you give a trade a clean and clear property to work in, and that all the work is completed that needs to be completed before they arrive, and that the work is done in the correct order, then they will give you a better product. All they want is an easy life. with no hassle and where they can earn money, as no one comes to work for the fun of it. So if you don't give them that, they'll go to another job that they can earn money and live an easy life. Unfortunately, life is not fair, and no matter how well you have planned the work and thought of every eventuality, there will be issues that come up, and you will need to be able to deal with them. If there were no such thing as issues and everything ran as clockwork, then there would be no such thing as a project manager. Remember that. So that is the end of this section, and I hope you've enjoyed the training and I've learned plenty about being a project manager. If you would like to learn more, then look out for more training. Make sure you like, follow and share my content. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any future training. If you'd like to learn more about managing projects and the different training packages, then please message me on one of the following. You can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. So this is the end. So I hope you have learned a little bit of something in this training, got a bit more knowledge. Use it if you can, and see you later.